LPT don't go for a 20-mile walk without prior experience. So here it goes. Me. Female 19 UK. Started growing wisdom teeth, and since I couldn't handle the pain anymore, I asked the NHS to give me an appointment with a dentist since all in my area are booked. And the appointment I got was 20 miles away from where I lived. In a different town. So, genius me comes up with the idea to walk the 20 miles since Google said it's only 6 hours and 20 minutes. First bad idea. Should have just taken the train. So the day of the appointment a couple of weeks ago, I wake up at 1 a.m. and prepare some food and drink for the walk. I head out at 2 a.m. and my appointment is at 10:10. I told myself that 8 hours is more than enough since I'm relatively fit. So it's pitch black and I head outside without my glasses. Second bad idea since I can't see anything without them. But I'm too lazy to go up and get them. As I start, it's relatively okay. I'm walking through my town. It's quiet and dark. As I head outside the city area, it's just fields upon fields of crops. Beautiful night lights of the city, and I took some pictures. Now as I walk further out. On the third mistake, Google in all its wisdom, tells me to walk alongside the highway. So I'm walking 5/6 miles in 4/5 am and the road is empty, and I'm listening to ContraPoints videos that I downloaded earlier. Good times. And as I approach my 10th mile 6 a.m., I can feel the pain in my foot getting worse, and walking on the grass on the side of the road is very much harder than walking on the road. And since cars started using the road, I had to move to the grass. Oof. So now I have a very sore foot, and all the water I drank earlier is starting to signal it's and hold it in, but I fix the problem later in my own way that I'm not gonna say on Reddit. Now on the 13th mile around 7 a.m.-ish. Pain is spreading to the hips and I need some more snacks. And thankfully there's a beautiful village ahead and a corner shop/grocery shop that I spot from afar. I take some pics of the village and I go into the shop and I buy chocolates, good and soda. Fourth mistake. So on my next break, I had been taking regular 5 minutes breaks. I decided to have some soda. On an empty stomach. The pain in my tummy. Despite that, I get up and walk, since in this remote part of the country, I can't just call an Uber and give up. I could only do that in the final town. Around 15/16 mile 8 a.m.-ish, Speep gets real. My whole body is aching and I'm starting to approach the outskirts of the other town, and finally there are some proper sidewalks to walk on. But guess what? Google peeps me again. Fifth peep up, and this town has some of the longest and steepest hills ever. Like 2 miles long and all incline. My foot is giving up and I'm just pushing myself to get in town so I can call an Uber. So, it's the last 2 miles and it's already 9:30 a.m. So I know I'm not gonna get my appointment. Side note, my phone is at 15%, down all the way from 100 at start. I'm just inching ahead at this point, and this is the 2-mile incline hill. Life just peeps me harder and I need to pee again. I blame the soda. So now I'm getting into the main town and walking like a zombie. So now I make a smart move and decide to go to the big Morrison's similar to Walmart at the end of this long and speepty road. I only have to go straight, so no need for speepty Google, and I turn my phone off as well. Another smart move. Now around 10 a.m. as I inch closer to my prize, the toilet I can stand any more cause of the pain. But thank God I find some benches along the road to rest and massage my legs. Finally around 11 a.m. after 20 miles of walking, I see the Morrison's logo. Yes. The final few steps through the parking lot were the hardest. And I storm in and find the closest bathroom nearby. Sweet relief. After that, I finally notice that I'm getting very hungry. So I buy all the cake I want. And a spoon. I start to devour the cake as I realize, 1. This cake tastes amazing. And 2. I didn't call an Uber yet. Very close major peep up. So I open my phone and 5% left. I quickly enter my home address into the app and get confirmation that the driver arrives in 8 minutes. But phone turns off as I almost read the name of the car and driver. I only manage to see the gray color of the now. Begins the most stressful 8 minutes of my life as I wait in front of Morrison's for a gray car with an Uber. Phone is dead, and if I miss this Uber I'm very peeped. In a new town. Can't walk at all and with no access to my phone for help. I'm done for. Finally the car arrives. It stopped in front of me and I get in and relax. And on the way back, we travel the same route that I took, and I get a second reminder of every single one of my peep-ups. But hey, I at least can brag that I once walked 20 miles at once. When I got home, I took off everything and showered first. And enjoyed the rest of the cake. This is a cake for 16 people. And went to sleep. I couldn't walk properly for a few days and I had a mild fever. And the pain in the joints and muscles lasted for about a week. And the tooth pain went away anyways. Thanks for reading this despite my horrible storytelling. TLDR, I overestimated my walking capability, got cocky pun intended, and tried to walk 20 miles in 6 peeped by Google Maps directions. Ended up spending 9 hours and almost got stuck in a different town with no phone and no ability to move. Walking 20 miles at once is a 0-10. Wouldn't recommend. Undefined. Edit 2. For the people asking why I didn't take my glasses, I should have clarified that I can still function fine without them. But it's just nice to have them. And also I didn't want to wake up my roommate by constantly going in and out. Edit 3. American English helps everyone understand what I'm talking about. And also I lived in America for a while, so some of the words are still stuck in my head. And for anyone with doubt of my Britishness, you can go sod off. 6 more miles. And that's a marathon. Assuming you want to keep score in your mind. Your challenge if you choose to accept it. Run 26 miles. Get your wisdom teeth extracted. Run the 26 miles home. Then you can have cake. You have achieved tendinitis and shin splints. It's very nice of you to try to help others learn from your failings. That being said, I can confidently say no one ever in the history of humanity will ever think it's a good idea to walk 20 miles to a dentist appointment. Outside of necessity. Especially when that appointment starts at 10 a.m. Imagine turning up at 11 a.m. and they tell you gotta reschedule to another day, sorry. Time to walk home, I guess. Yeah, maybe you can still catch dinner. Decides to walk 20 miles. But too lazy to walk upstairs and get your glasses? Second bad idea, since I can't see anything without them. But I'm too lazy to go up and get them. Something no one who actually needs glasses has ever done. Nevertheless, on their way out for the entire day's worth of walking and defined. I'm nearsighted and legally blind. Op must be speaking in hyperbole about not being able to see anything, because there is no way in hell I'm going for a walk just around the block without my glasses. I don't walk further than my bedside table without them. I needed to borrow my brother's glasses when mine would fall off the bedside table because I couldn't see them against the carpet. This is one of the most surreal stories I've seen on Reddit. Frankly, I applaud your stamina and endurance, but how on earth does it occur to a 19-year-old human being that the easiest way to get to a doctor's appointment that's more than 30 kilometers away is to take a leisurely walk? Thanks for this, anyway, and I hope you and your teeth are well. Waking up at 1 a.m. to walk 30 kilometers to the dentist. Surreal is putting it nicely. Food selection is chocolate, soda and cake. This person really doesn't fear the dentist's judgment. Did you plan on walking the 20 miles home too? Presumably they would give you drugs to remove the wisdom teeth, which would make that walk far more interesting. It is usually only a local anesthetic in the UK for wisdom teeth extraction. So, no fun. On way to dentist, buy soda. And cake. And a spoon. Well, at least it's obvious why they needed to see a dentist. So, they let you out by yourself on the regular? Lol. This might be one of the dumbest stories I've ever read, so it definitely fits today. I've peeped up perfectly. I didn't know it was possible to make this many mistakes outside of television. I'm honestly impressed. I feel bad saying this, but I am frankly amazed at how stupid people can be. Also, someone blaming Google for their inability to plan and interpret directions that I bet were probably set for driving and not walking is a red flag if I've ever seen one. Yeah, let me play videos on an 8-hour walk. Why the f*** would I need to save power? Not one iota of critical thinking was displayed on this journey, lol. Why didn't you call an Uber at 6 when you were first feeling pain? Why didn't she leave her house at 8 a.m. and catch a train from the peeping city she started in? If this story is real, it's peeping bonkers. I refuse to believe that this is truly a she, because no woman in her right mind, especially after the very publicized murder of Sarah Everard, would go walking alone through strange areas at 2 a.m. while listening to videos on her phone. I refuse to believe anyone set their alarm for 1 a.m. for a dentist appointment and thought, this is normal. Yeah, and even if they did, all of these peep-ups are such basic common sense even for a ditzy teenager. If it is real, then sorry, but they are incredibly stupid. Even a ditzy teenager would know watching videos on their phone for 6 hours will kill the battery. Too lazy to get my glasses. Walks 20 miles. Wow, I've never heard a fellow British person say soda or sidewalk. Or highway. Or parking lot. Bit of an odd duck, aren't you? This is way too dumb. Just like an adult watching Dora the Explorer or some speep. Op manages to do all the don't lol. The part that got me was being too lazy to go back upstairs to grab your glasses, but eager to walk 20 miles like it's no big deal. It's like the beginning of Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, and they leave the phone in the apartment, but notice it when they're just down the hall and safe peep it. We've gone too far. Don't take this the wrong way at all, but are you on the spectrum? This is definitely the kind of stupid misadventure I commonly had when my parents finally got sick of me and shoved me out into the real world. Agreed. One of my best friends is autistic and she walked 5 miles to my house from hers where for 2 miles there was no pavement, just dirt road. And didn't tell her parents. She was 15. Did it again a while later, 6 to 8 miles to the nearest town, which is a 20-minute car journey, on a hot summer day with no water or drink. Just because she felt like it and was determined. Also didn't tell her parents when she did it. Reading this reminds me of when I decided to walk around my city's 25-mile cycle path. 6 hours seems reasonable when you set off, but once that 6 hours is up and you still have 10 miles to go, along with all the pain, motivation goes out the window. At least now you can tell people back in my day I walked 10 miles both ways just to insert rambling story here and really mean it. Why the hell would you have soda and chocolate and cake? Who in their right mind would think these are sustainable food items to have for a 20-mile walk? Absolutely insane. A walk to a dentist appointment, no less. Having left home at 1 a.m. There are no words. Just to put it in relation, the marathon record for women is 2 hours 14 minutes. A marathon is 41 kilometers. A marathon is 42, 2 kilometers. Or 26, 2 miles. What about the dental appointment? Did you reschedule? Did it get done? I need to know. If you train for some time and maybe start running or walking frequently, you could actually achieve a 20-miler without pain. But I wouldn't recommend it when going to the dentist, because you should take it easy if local anesthesia etc. is applied to your body, especially on the way back home. Most anyone would be fairly physically exhausted after a 6-hour walk with a time constraint. Not dentist energy at all. This is actually really good advice, ignoring what I'm pretty sure is an entirely fabricated story. I used to be in search and rescue and most of the people who got lost were inexperienced hikers who decided to take the longest/hardest trail because reasons. I should also note that most of the people we found were long past the possibility of being rescued. Basically, if you don't want to be returned home in a pine box, don't take a long hike with no experience. And, even if you have experience, tell people where you're going, what route you're taking, and when you expect to be back. Also, having plenty of water and an emergency blanket will help you survive until help arrives, in the event that something goes wrong. I could give lots more advice, but that's the most important stuff. What the feep is wrong with you? Why would anyone in their right mind walk 20 miles to a peeping dentist appointment? Seuss story. Your wisdom teeth hurt but you willingly bought and ate a whole cake when you realized you weren't making it to your dentist appointment. That's a little counterproductive. Are you sure you're mature enough to be living on your own, dude? Lol, no offense, but who wakes up 1 a.m. and packs supplies for a half-day hike to their dentist appointment? Honestly, the devil may care attitude of the story is what scares me. Like, yeah, it was stupid, but it doesn't seem like she registers that this many mistakes really paints a picture that she is unfit to take care of herself. I am hoping all these comments knock some self-awareness into the girl. Google is supposed to tell you where hills are? How did you buy a single spoon in Morrison's? That's one of the things that are plausible. At work there are some pretty grotty cutlery for shared use. There is a local Morrison's and I bought single pieces of cutlery for my own use, so they do sell individual knives, forks, spoons etc. UK. Highway. Sidewalk. Soda. Kinda Seuss. Also, where the female do you live? 20 miles would be a different health board. How would you say those things in British? Motorway. Pavement. Fizzy drink? You're not allowed to walk on the motorway. It sounds like it was country roads. Fizzy drink. Or a controversial alternative is pop. Pop is used widely in Wales, not so much in England though. And everyone I know just says drink, and if pushed further the actual name. I just popped down to the corner shop and grabbed a drink. Oh cool, what did you get? Diet Coke. Sound. What's the pun? So you were going to walk back 20 miles too? Leaving home at 2 a.m. must have given you a clue this was idiotic. I walked from Aylesbury to my student house in Birmingham because peep it. First day. Got 30 miles done. Felt pretty good about myself even though I was quite sore. Next 3 days were hell. In the mornings I had cramps from hell. I didn't stretch at all the night before. Every step was pain. My speed became massively slower. Pain became a rhythm, where in a weird way it was better to continue walking rather than stop and start walking, as willingly restarting the pain got harder each time. I swore to myself I wouldn't do something like this again, but a few days after I did it I kind of wanted to, and this has only inspired me more lol, so thanks I guess. I try not to be too judgy on Reddit. It's nice to be as nice as possible. But you're a moron if this is even halfway true lol. How on earth did this seem like a good idea? It's so outrageously silly that this even popped into your head as an option, let alone actually doing it. And with unbearable tooth pain too? Pray you never have to make decisions with real consequences lol. I wouldn't trust this person to babysit my toothbrush based on their decision-making skills. I almost feel second-hand embarrassment from reading this post. Why are you fueling your body with soda and cake? Good lord, it's like someone gave a 5-year-old a credit card. Get some water, electrolytes, carbs, and protein in there. For real, your body needs actual fuel, which is making me think this person isn't as fit as they think they are. Probably mistaking not overweight with fit. Just plain dumb. Every single decision was wrong. You cannot pin the blame on Google for this one. No offense, but this is the most stupid thing I've read this year. Walking such a distance with no prior experience. What the hell? I actually have a reoccurring nightmare where I am 20 miles or so from home, on a road that I do not recognize and have to walk. The whole dream is of me walking. I hate that dream. Damn. That sucks so much. Eating cake helps your toothache? Her tooth pain, if it was wisdom tooth related, is likely due to inflammation of the tissue and not a cavity. I'm most disappointed in you for being a Brit who calls it soda. Well, this story makes me feel smart by comparison. So thanks for that. Why would you buy a cake? Why not something that can actually help fuel you? Like, a sandwich or some beef jerky or mixed nuts? If ever there was an advert for the metric system, this is it. Walking 32 kilometers to the dentist. Just a brisk 6 hours and 20 minutes. A full marathon is 42 kilometers. I applaud the effort, but I recognize its insanity at the same time. That's a little over 5 kilometers per hour, which is doable for a while, but doing that for 32 kilometers without training, that's hard. I did 70 kilometers in 3 days with my mom once, so about 23 kilometers per day. That was hard enough. I can't imagine doing 32 kilometers in a day. Forget the walk. How did you even wake up at 1 a.m. to walk? Second bad idea, since I can't see anything without them, but I'm too lazy to go up and get M. Proceeds to walk 20 miles. Shouldn't you not eat or drink the morning of your appointment for wisdom teeth removal? You're relatively fit and your choice of snacks is chocolate, soda and a family-sized cake. Who are you comparing yourself to? This is the stupidest speep I've ever read in my life. Got cocky, pun intended. Is this a referral to how much of a toll knob you are? I'll hope you learned a list of lessons from this experience, as I cringed realizing you thought at a point this was a good idea. Yeah, I was waiting for the pun. I can't stop thinking about how Op thinks their use of cocky was a pun. Really hope you call the dentist. No shows cost the NHS a lot of money. I think you need to go back to grown-up classes. You clearly have no idea what you're doing. Are you related to Carl Pilkington by any chance? Forget the 20 miles. What on earth possessed you to leave at 1 a.m.? That's dangerous for anyone when it's dark and you're sleep deprived. Something much worse could have happened. Were you on drugs? Were you trying to get a Darwin Award? There's nothing pro about this tip. Nobody in their right mind would have done any of this. I'm truly sorry for your ordeal. But is don't do completely ridiculous things really a pro tip?